Duelists, we're back here at Game Traders.
You big dog?
Yo, we're back here at Game Traders Chermside, ready for another deck profile. The boys have voted. We've picked a deck this week to show everyone, and we're here with Mr. Haywood to show us his build that he's cooked up for us. So, Mr. Haywood, what brings you here tonight?
So, Keen here for our Tuesday locals, and the deck that we've brought today is none other than Branded. And I want to just do a quick shout out up the top here for our beloved Lachlan Brodie. I will absolutely not do this deck justice, but I know that he will.
To people who don't know or don't know the Chermside locals at all, every time they come in and they don't know Callum Brodie, I say to them, do you know this man? And they say no, and I'm like, he's like if Yu-Gi-Oh had a Jesus, right?
He is the literal
And
Yu-Gi-Oh Jesus.
in saying that, they were sort of like, nah, stop coping, man. And Jeremy came right up to him and did the Arnold Schwarzenegger Predator, like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, no man plays Branded better here at our locals.
He's our Branded Andy.
Bring it up.
Alright, shall we have you take us through the profile?
Absolutely.
Come
Absolutely.
inside a few cars. We
Let's
better
do-
do shout outs.
Let's do a few shout outs. The first one that I want to shout out is actually my partner, Noelia.
Let's go.
She's been incredibly supportive over my journey, and whenever I ask her, I say, hey, what deck should I play this week? And she tells me, you know what, you should play Branded. And this time we actually went through with it. So shall we get into the profile?
Real.
Alrighty, so obviously we're going to start off with our beloved one of our Branded Fusion. Now, for those who are unaware, this one at Fusion summons anything that mentions Fallen of Albaz by sending materials from the deck into the bin, and that is unbelievably broken for this archetype, and it is in fact limited as a result. So we're on our one copy of Branded Fusion, and just a couple of targets as well. I wanted to lead off with my personal favorite one-ofs in the deck. We have ourselves a Spriggan's Kit, again, more access to Branded Fusion, a copy of The Tragedy, and an Ad Libitum. I know that this one's a bit of a contentious one, but we are playing 60, so I kind of wanted to saturate some of the one-ofs, because we can access any of these cards through a number of different ways in the archetype, so that figured this was a little bit better to keep these just as one a pair for each.
It's a very classic way to build Branded.
It is a very classic way, man.
None of this exists.
Lachlan, mate, what a tragedy.
What an absolute tragedy. Then another one of my favourites from here, we have the Aluba the Booba the Dooba, and I decided in true Callum Brodie fashion, mixed match rarities. We've gone with the Altar QCR, the Prismatic Platinum Secret Rare, and then the other Platinum Rare, all from Rarity, and then we stick one for another, again, all from Rarity Collection.
I love
Absolutely
it.
beautiful.
Absolutely goated.
From that position as well, we're locking in 3 copies of our Albion the Shrouded Dragon. Again,
Second best card in the deck.
Second best card of the deck, cycling. I've never actually summoned this organically from hand. I don't think that's ever come up, ever.
No, never.
It never will. Again, more access to Branded Fusion, and also sort of cycling through the deck as well. One copy of our Bestial Rebellion as well. This one is one of the targets off of Branded Fusion. Again, for those in the Branded community, know that this has been in the deck since day dot, and since this card came out.
Since Dabble, mate.
Since Dabble, indeed. Also, I've decided to up our Sarony account to 3. Originally, this was treated as a one-of, and it was one of the targets either searchable off of the Bestial Rebellion or as a pitch of a card later in the deck when we look at Branded and High Spirits.
Cut the video, mate. Cut the video.
What?
It's good with another card in the deck.
So is this a spicy pick from you, Mr. Haywood?
Not really.
No?
There has been some set of innovation in Branded, and again, this is not original by any stretch. We're going to put in, again, loving the mismatch rarities, 2 copies of Mercurium.
Oh, you love to see it. Show me those mismatches.
So we've got the Battle of Legends and the Battle of Legends Secret, and then I think this is the
Ultra.
OG, the OG Ultra from this one.
That's structure deck.
The SDAAZ.
We're gonna 2 copies of our Cartesia the Virtuous.
Nice.
Decided on 2 for this one. Opted for. I prefer to see it less in the opener, but you want it sometimes, but not all the time. 2 felt like the right number in 60.
I love 2 odds, man.
Yeah, no, you can shout out to Jesse Cotton for those kind
Shout
of
out to
ratios.
Jesse Cotton, yeah.
3 copies of Fallen of Albaz,
Callum Brodie himself.
the literal Callum Brodie, 2 copies of Guiding Quem,
Very nice.
and then to the non-branded cards, I opted for 5 of the Charmies. I wanted to fit the 6. I think, again, if I had a little bit more time to kind of prepare it, I would have definitely played 6 Charmies. Didn't see any of these and didn't really clog up the hand, so that's, neither here nor there.
Fair enough. That's 60 cards, isn't it?
60, yeah. So statistically, I'm not going to likely see 1, let alone 2. 6, I could probably have cut these and it would have been fine and just played it.
No, mate. No, we'll talk about it after, mate.
It's a bit of a hidden consistency, isn't it? Isn't it?
Now-
you know,
Yeah,
like you
it-
see
it-
the other cards in your deck, but if you saw the Charmies, then in
would've
theory
been- I
you would have
would've
drawn
happy.
into the rest of it, right?
Yeah,
bad
just,
to see,
it's
yeah.
not bad to see, and Sixer would have been perfectly fine with. I really love this card, the branded,
insane.
branded and high spirits. I'm still looking for the other two supers, but the it's foul in this ratio.
Those comments.
But I absolutely adore this card in addition with the 3 copies of Saranir as well. There are other targets as well that you can kind of cycle through, things like Trapper de Mercuria, amongst other things as well. A couple of power spells as well, locking in a triple talents Talente,
Oh, let's go.
Foolish Burial, Gold Sark. Onto a little bit of the non-engine for here. There isn't crazy amounts in branded, but this one I absolutely love. Super Poly. So we also play a couple of targets in the extra deck as well for this. Call by the Grave, 3 copies of my Spanish Allure of Darkness. Do not get me to pronounce this
No,
one.
no, Lachlan. Sorry, I was talking to the boys. Pronounce it.
Sorry. The camera hasn't seen it yet. What is this one?
Oh God.
Atractico.
Atractivo de la Oscuridad.
Oh, I think you nailed it.
Oh, that's right. I'm like,
more
oh
than-
god, the Oscuridad.
It's an Oscuridad. 3 copies of Fusion Deployment, 3 copies of Branded Opening, 1 copy of Branded Lost, 3 copies of Book of Eclipse. Again, we want to try and resolve our Alubra as much as possible.
The Boober of the Doobers.
Indeed, the Boober of Doobers. 2 copies of Droplet,
Forbidden
1
Droplet.
Bread. It's very, I absolutely love grabbing this card.
Mate.
I'll show you one of the cards in the extra deck later on.
Mate, before you go on, you ever consider playing 2 breads? In
True,
60?
true. In 60, I think that was probably the consensus. There's a little bit we could probably shave down and definitely play 2 of this. Maybe tag out a few different things. Again, I am more than happy for a bit of feedback. I know this is definitely not optimized. This is definitely not the list that the branded community have quote unquote agreed upon. But I'm more than happy to take on any kind of feedback because I absolutely love playing branded. And it's one of those decks that comes out once in a blue moon. And whenever I pick it up again, I really enjoy it. So
And it changes every format too.
it does change every format, going from a 40 to a 45 to 50, and then obviously now the 60. 3 copies of Thrust, and then
I'm gonna bust.
1 apiece of Retribution, Branded Banishment, and
The
then
Callum Brodie
and
card.
the Callum Brodie card, and again a Fusion Duplication as well.
That's a fat stack of
For
cards.
those,
There's a-
for those that might be familiar with a lot of our branded cards, but maybe not these other picks, what does Fusion Duplication help in our deck?
So Fusion Duplication serves as one of those cases of not only a thrust target, because it is a normal trap, but it is additional copies of Branded Fusion they can actually use off turn. So the idea is that if your Branded Fusion gets ashed, you thrust for Fusion Duplication, and then off turn you can fire it, banish your Branded Fusion, and you can perform your Fusion Summon as normal.
So branded really has an excellent thrust target, even when going first.
It's one of the most egregious thrust targets there is. They ash you. You said it. They can't ash it again. It's really funny.
Let's take a look at the extra deck as well.
FTK, Sean.
I've opted for a copy of Albalenitis. There's a couple of Blue Eyes players at our locals, so I figured, you know what, we'll chuck one of these in to
Dragon
see.
Rulers, man.
Actually came up in one of my in my game 2 against a Blue Eyes opponent. I set a Fallen of Albaz. I said, do you have a response? He said no, and then I fused it all off and made one of these. And my opponent was quite surprised by the
Tragic.
end of it.
Catastrophic
Ever
for them.
done that?
Again, has never happened ever before. 1 Queritus, 1 Dracus Tapelia,
Best cards.
Guardian Chimera. We're playing 2 copies of Grangranol as well.
Granny Gwiggle.
I absolutely love seeing. I initially was a 1 Grang enjoyer for the longest time, but I figured, you know what, I'm gonna try 2 because I love fusing it off turn as well. Triggering Lost amongst getting a lot of resource as a result. Playing off turn. I know this was the key. This card was key in the Puppet Lock amongst Ido Lock, and I guess nowadays it is pretty much the Ido Lock. We don't play Ido. I figured I'd rather not be cringe, plus it's a locals.
2 based for that, man.
1 copy of Rinbrum, 1 Lubellion, 1 Titanic Lead, 2 copies of Jade, 2 copies of Albion the Branded Dragon, and our 2 Super Poly targets, and Garua and Mud Dragon of the Swamp as well.
Very nice.
Couple of honorable mentions as well, things from the extra deck that I was actually taking a look at as different options. I was taking a look at Sanctifier again, just playing more into the grind. This one as well, I've never actually used this card before, but the Light and Darkness Dragon, being able to make this off turn off the Fusion Duplication, absolutely insane, and Appaloosa on legs. Other honorable mentions, again, Grass, pretty self-explanatory.
Very nice.
And a couple of other picks as well that didn't make the cut. The Borreload Fusion, the Furious Dragon being able to pop Notorious back row as well. I know that this deck previously had a difficult time into things like Rivalry. This was an option to make immediately, pop the Rivalry, and then play from there. So a couple of cool cards that we considered as well.
I will ask you this, Lachlan.
Yes.
From my minimal bit of branded knowledge, is a bit of a branded a ghoul. Oh, I don't even know what to call it anymore. I haven't touched
Connoisseur.
Connoisseur. I haven't touched it.
There's a lot of us out there that haven't touched the deck in a while.
It's not even that. I just miss going Allure, Banish, Trage, add my my Fright Fur Patchwork and my Poly. So it's worth noting some of the nuance where you can actually go High Spirit, send a Fua, and actually bin this as well.
Yes, that is an option as well. Hence, the Fua was included for exactly this interaction. This interaction as well. Plus, this card's actually quite good as well to send off the Jade in general. Like, you can still get utility out of it.
More things off turn, just not burning it all immediately.
Sometimes I noticed with Jade as well is that sometimes if you've already resolved quite a large portion of the combo and you've already got access to Quem, sending this wasn't actually high value as often. No. And I didn't want to send 2 of these because I wanted one for the follow-up. So Rinrum kind of fills in that niche as well, and same thing with Albalenidus as well, giving access to fusion duplication, fusion deployment as well off of that in the end step. I know it's Notorious, the main phase 3 for Branded, so I was really excited to play this card again, and then again it came up a couple of times as well.
The Titaniclad's more of like a last-ditch effort to get access to and moving with that last little bit of engine as well.
Exactly, and being able to, especially off Quem has that added utility of instant. You can revive a Cartesia or a Valbaz, but on a more custom note, you can actually revive a Mirror Jade or a Mercuria to use it off turn as
Absolutely.
well. So you will get 3 or 4 banishes worth of your Mirror Jade just by cycling it from either the bin or the banishment as well.
And I must say, I like the way that you play the deck with a lot of your power sort of in engine. We're playing a very, branded feeling version of the deck as opposed to some of our other cards. I know a lot of people use this for, potentially some not locals friendly gameplay.
Floodgates are cringe, mate. That's the old take.
So summon this off turn and then immediately give your opponent an Ido, and it's like, cool, you are previously with Puppet and things like this, there was a version of the deck that basically just wanted to turbo the Puppet as quickly as humanly possible. It's a pretty effective win con, so it makes sense to kind of want to do that. I like playing a very grindy version of Branded, and 60 kind of facilitates that as well.
And you were saying before that if you were to include this, it would be in a more grindy fashion where you're getting more engine out.
Reviving an Aluva off of this and giving your opponent something useless, it ends up coming up quite often. Summoning a Fallen of Albaz off turn and summoning a guy to your opponent and fusing it off immediately, like that feels really premium. I've always really enjoyed playing this, and it's really difficult to interact with as well outside of cards like Droplet. So
I love that you can't target it.
It's the fact that it cannot be targeted is perhaps the funniest thing.
I think in true Konami fashion, the initial plan was them going, oh my god, you can revive the Albaz and then use it, and they did not think of any of the ramifications whatsoever.
No.
And then they printed a Grang and went, why don't we just give you a floodgate that works? Like, they were calling for it.
Even cards like Branded Expulsion as well, like when they printed this,
They
it's like
just turn it into a
this is a pretty good idea. We can just turn it into a fusion, and it actually facilitates the same thing. So,
maybe we're just a rules as intended kind of collection of duelists here.
Let's have a look at the
show us
sideboard.
that side deck.
Now, this one we'll save for the very end, but we'll load up with 3 copies of our Bestials.
Checks out.
Again, the mismatch rarities of the Solemn Judgment. We are in the works of getting the second Ghost Rare.
Jesus, man.
But
I do like the secret.
What's your favourite to draw?
My favourite to draw is probably the Secret or the Burger Print.
That's okay. Look at that.
Yeah.
So the Burger Print, super Solemn Judgment.
Take that one in.
Probably 1, 2, 3 in order. The Ghost is funny, but I love seeing the Secret. Secrets I like as a rarity in general.
It's good taste.
3 copies of our Lancia.
Has to happen.
Well, what does that card even do?
Pretty funny stuff, but attributed from
Don't explain that.
There was an instance where I actually considered setting an artifact Lancia, because it is an artifact. You can actually do that.
There's a lot of talk about it at our locals about how much we really don't like this card. I know a lot of duelists really desperately want to play their deck and actually do some combos.
Can you talk from experience?
This is a little bit of bias in that one, sure.
2 copies of Lightning Storm, 1 Duster.
Oh, the tried and true ratio.
And then I wanted a little bit more for back row removal, so I opted for 1 copy of Evenly.
Fair, and you got the thrust in the main too to get to all
Thrust is in the main, it gets into everything as well. I had no idea what the next card was, so I chucked in a D barrier.
Let's go.
I wanted to do some really funny things with Simul Archfiends. Simul Archfiends was an option. What are the called? Like a Daruma Karma Cannon I thought of as well, the Callum Willis.
The Callum Willis cannon, yeah.
So that was the option for this one, but in true Callum Brodie fashion, we've opted for in the sideboard 1 copy of the Masquerade as well.
The Masquerade.
So 1 copy of the Masquerade. So basically, you pay to enter the theatre. So
Yes.
whenever you're a
That is how everyone learned to pay the cost of Masquerade. That was the running joke at this locals for the longest time. Like, hey, when do I pay? I'm trying to resolve my Dynamorphia domain. It's like, you got to pay to get into
you
the
got to pay
theatre.
up front.
You go down to 74.5.
In my game 3 against Nick, he had ogred my Cartesia, so I couldn't make my Grangranol, but I fused away a Mercuria in my grip as well as my Alubra, and I made this, and I said, go ahead and feel free to activate anything else, anything else on that one Stolberg.
The amount of time matches that are determined by that card with branded players, I think, is a sizable amount.
I can agree. In previous builds, when you'd end on 2 of these and a Mirajay plus a
And
bread,
a Dramaturge and a red.
and a Dramaturge, bread, the whole shebang.
That was the nuts, mate. That was the best branded build, though.
I think in the modern iterations, I think that's so something like that. I feel like has a room to be experimented with, but Branded just has so many tools at the moment.
No, I've tried. All the other tools are just infinitely
They're
better.
fair.
True, so.
Well, and that is the profile there.
Thanks for taking us through it, Haywood. It was a pleasure as always having you show us your deck, and we look forward to maybe one day it might be on the feature and you can show us some of those plays.
Final shout out as well to the judge Otis as well. Again, he's
This man.
bit of a supporter of Branded for a number of years at this stage. And
It's like a toxic relationship that you keep going
It
back
is.
to.
It is kind of something that
But
you
it
kind
has
of come
massive
back
highs
to.
to it.
It sits in the binder forever until you think, you know what, I could actually play Branded this week. And again, took it, had a bit of fun with it. So again, for those who are interested in coming down to the locals, feel free. Play every Tuesday and every Friday. Doing Edison once a month as well. So if that's something that's up your alley, feel free.
No auto locks either.
No auto locks, but you can get trap dust shooting, and that's always fun.
Yeah, that's it. It's a different story.
You can look forward to coming to this local if you want a nice friendly group of duelists to duel against. No one's trying to make anyone cry.
I forgot my binder today, and not my binder, my mat today. So
The boys had your back.
Oh, boy.
Again, Sean had my back and gave me the Goaty mat for the night, so that was really good. But
Glad you rocked it. All right,
Cheers
well,
for today.
I'll
Thank
close
you.
this out, but thank you, Mr. Haywood,
No
and
worries.
we'll see you duelists next time.
bye for now.